And we are live right now for Let's Go Tribes Cleveland Indians Prospect Talk podcast, the Prospect Chat. And we have a special treat for you, everyone. Today, our special guest, and this is the first of hopefully many to come, but it will be 2016 first-round draft pick by the Cleveland Indians, Will Benson. Will, say hello to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Now, there are so many things that I want to talk to you about, but let's get started early in your background. You actually come from a really athletic family, right? I think your dad was a basketball player. Your mom was a dancer. Your sister's a dancer. I mean, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's where I get it all from. I'm glad my dad, he went to Purdue, and he was a really good basketball player there. My sister went to Florida State, and she was a dancer there, and then she went on to go dance professionally. And then she actually went over to London to continue that career, and I'm actually going to marketing of dance. So, yeah, got a pretty athletic family.
Now, you actually went to London this offseason, right? Your sister had a baby in November, I think. You got to finally meet him in like around Christmas time, right?
Yeah, Uncle Bill. That's what I try to get the girl to say first off. But the baby's name is Avery. She's very pretty, very adorable. We went over there. I was over there for about like a week, spent Christmas with them. So got a lot of nice gifts for Avery, and she seemed pretty happy.
Oh, that's wonderful. That must have been a really enjoyable time.
Yeah, it was a treat.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine. Now, you were a big basketball fan growing up, right? Obviously, Dad having the big basketball history, and then you were really good at basketball growing up. How did you get involved in baseball? Because that's just not usually the first thing people think when they think of, these tremendously talented athletes. But baseball became, your true love.
Well, the thing was, for the longest time, I tried to play a sport for every season, and basketball and baseball always conflicted with one another. But my mom, my dad would always take me to a basketball tournament on the weekend, and then I would have baseball pretty much all through the week, kind of leading up to the weekend. And I would just kind of have to bounce back and forth. And we continued to do that through middle school. And I got plenty of opportunities to go play with East Cobb, the Astros. And so the funny story was the season started to truly like overlap with basketball. And, I came to a point where I was like, hey, like, should I continue to play basketball? But like you said, I was pretty good at it. And, my mom, my dad were big on just being a two-sport athlete because basketball really helps me in baseball and the other way around. So it was really beneficial for me to continue to play basketball all through high school. And then finally, I got the great opportunity to go on to the next level in baseball. So I continue with that.
Yeah, and I have to say, there are not a lot of members of the Cleveland Indians organization that can dunk. You are in that elite category. I mean, I'm looking at these pitchers like Adam Pletko and Sean Mormando. I don't know if those guys could even jump up and hit the net,
Well, you'd be surprised. I'm actually out here at the strength camp with Arizona, and I'm actually blown away by the athleticism by my teammates. Especially we do the vertical jump, and sometimes we go out, just shoot around a little bit, and I see some guys, get up there, and I'm like, wow, I didn't expect, like you said, I didn't expect many other people to be out here dunking, but we got some athletic guys in our organization, which is a good thing.
Is there a specific guy that's given you some jumping competition?
Actually, yeah. Micah, I can't.
Micah Minyard?
Yeah, dude, he shocked me. And Sam Hinches as well. Also, he shocked me. He's also very tall and long, but he had some bounce. Zach Plezak had some good hops on him. So, those are kind of the guys I just go around and shoot with. It's actually amazing. It's impressive.
That's awesome. Now, speaking of your non-baseball hobbies, we all saw those insane Mickey Mouse socks at your introductory press conference.
Yeah.
You said you had some rubber duck socks, I think. You said you had a foxtail keychain.
Yeah.
Have you tried to create any new fashion trends in the last 6 months?
Last 6 months? No. The thing is, I'm super basic right now. I'm in Arizona right now with not many eyes to see. But I try to keep it basic out here. Always got to keep my foxtail chain on me. But other than that, no, I mean, I go to the field pretty much wearing the same thing every day. I guess that's a new trend, just kind of the low key look.
Oh, I completely understand now. I know baseball at some points can become a bit of a grind, just the constant training and playing. Mm-hmm. Is there anything you do that really helps you refresh the batteries, like that has nothing to do with baseball?
Absolutely. My good friend Nolan, me and him always come back. Video games are always an option, of course.
Oh yeah.
But we usually just kind of either do that or we play Uno. That's like my favorite game to play. Awesome. Yeah, Uno. We like twist up the rules and everything, so it make it like special to us. We don't put any money on it just yet. Haven't got to that point yet. No, I mean it's all fun and games. So what else we usually do is kind of go out. We actually bought some bikes and we kind of bike around as far as our legs will let us go, and just kind of see what little good year we can. But that kind of helps me get away from the game.
Now, is that Nolan Jones you were referencing?
Yeah. He's my roommate, and we kind of got sick of just sitting around the house all day after long days of work. So we thought, hey, let's just get some bikes and go see where we can go and have some fun at.
Oh, that's great. Is there a specific video game that you guys get a little competitive with?
Absolutely. Infinite Warfare.
There we go.
The new Call of Duty. Yeah. I'm super on it. Got to keep the KD ratio at a 1 at all times. Got to unlock some camos. But no, I mean, usually we're on the same team, which is a good thing. I don't want to embarrass them too much. But no,
have you ever faced Tristan McKenzie? Because I heard that he is a Call of Duty god.
No, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. They like to play zombies, and I don't know.
There you go.
I'm not big on zombies. I don't know why. I just can't sit there for 3 hours and just shoot like little clowns and whatnot. So, no, but yeah, I heard he's actually really good himself. Also, Clevenger's pretty good too. Apparently with zombies. But
that's impressive. Now, how's your 2001 Ford Explorer doing? Because that was one of my favorite quotes when from the introductory press conference, that you were keeping that car because it was still running like a charm. 6 months later, is it still going?
It's still going. When I went back home after Instructs, it was working perfectly fine. My dad had cleaned it up for me, actually. So I came back to it as all pearly black for me. Got to whip it around, felt pretty good. And it's still running. Hopefully I can ship it up to me wherever I go next year, because it'll be a charm to actually have it with me. And take it with me. It will probably remind me of home. It will remind me of home. So it's still running well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, I would at least have pimped it out a little bit, get some lights going, some speakers.
Yeah. I mean, I thought about that. It's kind of old though. The car's kind of old. It's 201 and has some miles on it. So I'm just gonna ride it down till it can't go anymore. I mean, no need to pimp it out just yet. I guess I don't know.
Now, we talked about how you went to London earlier this year. I want to talk about a time where you were on the complete other side of the planet. You were with Team USA. You guys went through a bit of adversity on that under 18 baseball team. You traveled all the way to Asia. You were in China, Japan. There was a lot of illness, I think, on the team.
Yeah, a lot of us got sick.
Yeah. And you guys just overcame it all and took home the gold. I mean, do you have any big takeaways from that experience?
Well, one of my biggest takeaways was when Sean Cole, we were on the bus and we had just lost to Chinese Taipei. And Sean Cole, I mean, he really, lit a fire under us. And that's when, as being on a team, that's like one of the prime moments in my baseball career where I felt like, a bunch of guys are all on the same page, going for the same thing. And, it just felt, amazing, to go through so many obstacles. We weren't playing so well at the beginning, but we kept our minds on straight. We kept fighting. We kept playing hard for our country, and that's the best thing we could do at the time. And, we won. That's awesome to come back and bring back gold to your country, after going through so many things. I remember being sick, and a lot of guys had like a 102 fever. I know I had 102. A couple guys had a little bit higher. One of our players had to actually go to the hospital. He couldn't play for the rest of the tournament. So, in order to continue to go on, we all had to be on the same page and have one goal in mind. So it was awesome.
Oh, that's great. Now, I like to look through as much stuff as I can doing research for these interviews. And when I was going through your Twitter feed,
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy or embarrassing stood out or anything. There was one thing, though, that did stand out, and it was your selflessness. I mean, you were constantly praising other athletes, some of your buddies maybe that you played baseball with earlier, some guys in the basketball that are having success. I mean, I love that. Can you tell us a little bit more just about that selflessness, how you were always cheering on your fellow man a little bit?
Well, one, every one of those guys had a special impact on my life. And one, I like to let them know that and stay in touch with them and let them know that they're out there doing good things. And, uplifting, him, that fellow teammate, well, then he'll go on and uplift someone else. So I think that selflessness will then carry on and expand. And that's kind of why that's why I play the game. I play the game for love, because I do love the game, and I love the people that I play it with, and those relationships last like a long time. They go way beyond the game. Sooner or later we're all going to put the cleats down eventually, but you want to have good connections after that. So,
oh, that's great. Now, there was one thing about you, I think, the day you got drafted that I thought was amazing. Literally, they draft you, you put your name up, you're wearing an Indians hat, and then they're talking to you, and the other team's on the clock. They haven't even announced the number 15 pick yet. And you were pick 14, and you say, I am definitely signing with the Indians. 100%.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, when somebody has like a big scholarship or other things that might be a conflict when a team drafts them, some guys use that as leverage and just try to get that extra bit for themselves. And that's just not what you did at all. You took all the pressure off and were like, I'm signing with the Indians. This is where I want to be. What brought that about? I got to know.
One, going into the draft, I had already talked to my parents and the Duke coach about like, hey, look, this is kind of where the area we're looking in. And if we go in that area, he said that he'll understand, my decision, and, best luck to you. And, through the whole process, the Indians were such a treat. Just absolutely nice people up and down through the organization. And so I grew a very great relationship with them. Along with other teams, but I think the best relationship possibly with any of the teams came from the Indians. And to be drafted by them in that moment, that it was almost picture perfect. It was such a blessing. And, it just overwhelmed the whole moment. Necessarily didn't overwhelm me, but it was just like, look, great team, great people up and down the organization. I'm signing, and there was no second thought. I heard the Cleveland fan base is absolutely ridiculous. I went up to Cleveland actually later that week. Sorry. And the amount of love I felt that the fans have for the players was just absolutely beautiful. And I was just so happy to be a part of the Indians. So,
oh, they are very, very passionate up here.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the relationships you'd built with some of the coaches even before you got drafted. I looked into that, and I read something about how the coaches even before you got drafted came over and were talking to you and helped you make a small mechanical adjustment.
Yeah.
And that helped you just start launching balls 450 feet. Now, all I heard was the small mechanical adjustment. What was the adjustment? What did they help you with?
Well, a thing in my swing is that sometimes I don't move forward, and I get locked up in that back leg. And so Jim Rakan actually just said, hey, start a little bit earlier and move your body forward, like move forward towards the pitcher. And it just clicked. And like I said, out of all the pre-draft workouts that I could have gone to, that's the one I felt like I actually learned from and benefited from. So that was like another aspect of why I was just like, I'm definitely going to sign, because, hey, if he can come help me out in, what was it? I think like a 45-minute, hitting session, what can they do with two or three years, on my journey to the big league. So, it was just, everything was perfect. That workout, was just a key example or key reason why I was just like, hey, like I got to sign. So.
That's great. Now, after you got drafted, you got thrown into the fire, the Arizona Rookie League. There's a lot of talented players down there.
Yeah.
You went out, you had a pretty good season, I thought. A lot of extra base hits, really good walk rate, 6 home runs. That was one of the tops in the whole league. So what was your evaluation of your performance in the AZL last year?
It can always get better. That's my one and only evaluation. It can always get better. But I know, going away from it, one thing that I truly did learn was that you got to be there in the moment. You can't think too far ahead, and that's what really helped me to actually put up some really good numbers. I think when I first got there, my numbers weren't as great, and I wasn't actually in a good mental state either. But once I finally sat down with actually one of my area scouts for the Indians, he took me out to lunch, and he sat me down. And he was just like, "Look, I mean, you're not going to be in the big leagues tomorrow, so just embrace today." And I started really, truly, embracing the day and getting better. So, that's when I started to see a major change in my performance numbers.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I did notice that they really started improving down the stretch. You had some pretty big games.
Yeah.
And you guys ended up making the playoffs, which was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Now, is there a specific thing that you've kind of been working on this offseason? Like, I know that everybody likes to touch on everything, but was there like a primary goal or focus in your training?
Well, I can say there was two aspects. There's a mental aspect and there's a physical aspect. So on the physical aspect, what I wanted to really work on was simplifying things. Sometimes especially in the batter's box, I would get really out of hand in terms of just like super jumping out and forward. So like I took that moving forward action kind of, excessively. I like to overcorrect things so I can really truly feel it. So sometimes I get excessive. So I try to just, really feel myself digging into that back hip, uncoiling, but still having a good firm base beneath me. But then mentally, I try to also find ways. I read books to really find ways to slow the game down, have in-depth practice, and what that means is just like, not just simply hitting the ball at the tee, but like feeling the ground beneath you, actually feeling your arms, feeling your hips, doing what you wanted to do instead of just going up there or going in the cage and hitting like 20 balls and not really getting anything out of it. Also, I found ways, reading the books, I found ways to, in game, ways to actually calm, everything down that's going on in your mind. You have so many things going on in your mind. You have to do these mechanics, have to be ready for this pitch and this, that, and the other. But, I've learned that, slowing the game down, taking deep breaths actually help you get through that whole process and makes the game a lot easier. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, couple last questions here, and then we'll let you go because I know you're a busy guy. Is there any specific coach or trainer or teammate that has had a huge impact on you since you've been drafted, since you've been down there?
A couple. The one that's on the back of my hand is Dennis. Dennis is our fielding coach here / hitting coach. Like I said, that time period when I wasn't doing so well in the AZO, I remember sitting in his car or sitting in the van because they take us back home from games, and I broke down a little bit. I was genuinely like upset. Like I came out here. I'm a first round draft pick. I have so much weight on my shoulders that it feels like, and I'm not carrying my load right now, and I feel like I just was being pointless out here, and he kind of just reassured me that this is just a process, that you're gonna have many days like you're having right now, and you just got to bounce back, and those that bounce back are the ones that you see on the TV at the end of the day. And that really stuck with me, and that's when I think a couple weeks later I actually had the area scout Mike Bradford come out, and he talked with me, and that's another guy who's had a major impact on me along with his brother, CT Bradford, and they pretty much just said, look, be in the moment, be right there, and that will always stick with me for the rest of my career. So those three people, I would say most have had the greatest impact on me.
Well, that's seriously wonderful to hear. I'm really happy that they were to help get you to where you wanted to be a little bit, or at least get you closer. Now, let's talk 2017. Do you have any major statistical goals or expectations, anything specific you really want to accomplish this year?
No, not really, honestly. I expect to have fun, and I expect to be locked in every day. I think if you lock yourself into certain statistical goals and you don't accomplish them, you almost feel like a failure. So I just want to be free and easy. I just want to have fun when I get out there, and that wherever I am, and the rest will take care of itself.
And are you aware of where you think you'll begin the year? Do you think you'll go low A? Do you think you'll spend some extra time in extended spring training? Do you think that you could kind of be like a Clint Frazier and jump a level? Like, do you have any inklings yet?
No, I have no idea. God willing, it'd be somewhere, nice, but I mean, I don't know. And wherever they put me, I'll be ready. I just want to dominate wherever I'm put.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I had one last follow-up question from something I heard a while back that I forgot to ask about, and then I think we're going to let you go. But you mentioned that you wanted to start up some programs in the Atlanta area to make baseball a little bit more accessible to the kids in that area. So did you get anything started in that area yet, or is that still in the planning stages?
Well, it's still kind of in the planning stages. We're still kind of trying to find space, first of all, and then we also are trying to put up the website. I think the first thing is actually just to put up the website and kind of get your word out there first and foremost. So my Ballinger team is helping me work on that now. But in terms of like blueprinting stuff, no, we've not got to that stage yet. But we actually are in the completing stages of finishing the website, finishing, the official message that I'm trying to get out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's about everything I had for you, Will. I sincerely appreciate you giving us your time and talking so sincerely with me. And if there's any last words you wanted to have, anything you wanted to get off your chest, or any shout-outs you wanted to give, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to be on here and, connect with the Indians fans. I think that's the most important thing, is connecting with people who truly love you and who watch you. So I thank you guys for this opportunity.
Well, we really appreciate it as well. Say hello to your buddy Nolan. We're going to try down the road, get him on the show at some point too, awesome. As long as you had a good time with us, maybe he will too. But have a great rest of your day and have a really successful 2017. We're all rooting for you, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. You have a terrific rest of your day, William.
All right. Take care.